Alright, here we go again. If you are new to the channel, 3 simple rules: no blah blah intro, no pausing, some yada yada at the end. The Ricky Gervais Show on Radio XFM, Series 2, Episode 23. Rodney BIIILLSSHH. I'm gonna say Ricky said that. Sounds like Ricky. We'll see. Lego.
It's just the way I'm feeling.
There you go, feeder, just the way I'm feeling, XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. We've got a great show lined up this week, haven't we?
Go on, what have you got planned?
Well, I've got songs from David Bowie, Thin Lizzy, Gene, AC/DC, you heard feeder there, you got, Smiths, all that. We got a great feature, a new feature. Spoke to Karl in the week, and we worked out a new feature where people are gonna give him sort of like problems to solve. There could be scenarios, there could be management scenarios at work, you know, problem solving, things like that, organising things. He's a very good organiser. So I'll tell you what happened. He's dropping Do We Need Him because he's getting fed up with scientists. He thinks there's a conspiracy and they're getting together and they're never gonna lose an animal. Right. So he's just fed up with that. Rockbusters, we've got some great prizes.
Well, have you seen them yet?
No.
Be careful.
They're not going to be great,
I just peeked in, and all I'm going to say to you is, Fools and Horses Christmas Special?
Not the little one with the little car.
With the little car, yeah.
Brilliant. That is excellent. Karl, what have you got to say for yourself? Hold on, it was a rollover, wasn't it? Because you really mucked up Rockbusters last time. What was he doing? It was saying FP for the whole thing. No, FD you were saying, and it was Frida Payne.
Have you written the clues down this week? Because that seems like an obvious way to improve this.
Yeah, I write the clues
The week
down.
before he couldn't remember what the answer was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, you learn by your mistakes and that.
You don't.
So
yeah. I'll give you a little taster. But we were having a pizza in a pizza establishment. When was it? Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
And he was going, I'm a good organiser, I'm a good problem solver. Give me any scenario, right? Obviously he didn't say scenario. And I went, okay then, so you're the manager of this place, and there's a couple there, elderly couple, they're about 60. They've had a lovely meal. He went, yeah, right. I went, but the gentleman, he's got a little bit of a heart condition. He takes a pill after his meal, as he should, after meals. He's only taken Viagra. Oh. And now he's stuck in.
Wedged in?
Wedged in.
We've all been there.
It's gone, and it's stopping him getting out from the table.
Yeah.
So what would you do? He went, what? He's stuck in because of his dick? I went, yeah. He went, right. He said, I'd use the situation, I'd make cash. I said, you're not going anywhere, do you want a pudding?
Entrepreneurial, I like it, Karl.
Anyway, so that's that sorted, I've got the job on that. Next, I went, okay. Another, you won't believe it. Next day, there's a little problem in the toilets. Two gay men were having sex and they got stuck in each other. Yeah. He went, right. I'd say, is it the same fella as yesterday with the Viagra? If so, why was he let in again? He was on the door.
Yeah.
I went, it's not. It's too. He goes, right.
Does his wife know he's cheating?
Yeah. He went, right, I'd go down. I'd go, and then he went, I'd say this isn't a restaurant problem, call an ambulance. Strictly speaking, not a restaurant problem, no.
But am I right?
Huh?
Am I right?
Well, I don't know.
Would you give me the job if say, like, you were the boss of that restaurant and you...
Do you know what I like about this? At no point did he say, Gervais, why are you being so mental?
Yeah.
Why would someone get stuck because they took Viagra by mistake, and two people get stuck in each other?
But you've heard the stories from his past. That is a perfectly legitimate situation to find yourself in if you grew up in his part of
What
Manchester.
would you do if there was two fellas with big heads and webbed feet, and they had a horse in a... Well, what I'd do is... What would you do? What did you do when you first saw them?
What, saw the
kids
lads with the big heads and
Yeah.
We should very quickly remind people, if they didn't listen to that particular show, they had webbed hands.
Yeah.
Did they, or webbed feet?
Well, they had webbed hands.
Right.
And big
and
heads.
enormous heads.
But it wasn't related.
But they weren't related
I know,
to each
they
other.
were completely
No,
separate
but I'm
people.
saying that the webbed hands isn't due to the fact they've got a big head.
No, sure.
It's two different things. We're just unlucky.
Yeah.
No, hold on. If they weren't related, and they both had webbed hands and big heads, I'm saying there was a condition that was related, that had those two...
I don't think there was.
So what do you think the chances of that are? They're not related, and he goes, oh, you got a big head and webbed hands as well. Yeah, just a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah. I honestly don't think it was related.
Right.
Because I've since seen the same problem again on another kid with a big head. His hands look good.
Right, so you think the big head is just a separate issue?
Yeah, it's a totally different illness. It's like having a headache and a cold at the same time.
Right,
It's,
so
you know.
not always connected.
But the weird thing is, right, looking around in the week at weird stuff on the internet, there's this woman who's got a big head.
Oh, yeah.
And, she was fed up with it because when she was walking down the street, it was so big she couldn't hold it up.
Right.
Oh,
She
God.
couldn't hold it up. Oh, God. Okay, shut up.
So
She
when
couldn't hold it up.
when she was walking, her eyes were hurting because she had to sort of look up all the time because her head was that heavy. Her chin was sort of balanced on her chest.
Right. And she'd have to peek up, yeah.
So she goes to the doctors, and this was after years and years, and said, I thought I could put up with it, but I can't. It's hurting
How
my
big
eyes.
was her head?
It's
I
big,
think
Rick.
I don't know if it was like big because there wasn't a picture. I don't know if it was just big or a lot of bone, so it was heavy.
Very heavy.
Right, like the Elephant Man, just
So
outcrops.
right. So the doctor said, we can sort that out, but we'll have to take your head off.
Right.
Okay,
No,
okay,
but
so
listen
keep
to this.
going.
Listen.
Okay, keep going.
Because what you don't seem to understand is I have the same reaction to you when I see it.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
You're quizzical yourself.
So
You're
I looked
suspicious.
at it, they took her head off, chipped away a bit of the bone, made her head lighter, put it back on.
No! No, Carl, no.
Right, play the Smiths.
Took her head off, put
Took
it
a
back
woman's
on.
head off.
Yeah, last by the Smiths.
No, that was
And if you'd like to
too
ask
stupid.
Carl something, details coming up soon. How's that? Good.
That was a little too stupid, Carl. Oof.
Ask by the Smiths on XFM 104.9. So, what's the email, Carl? If people want to ask you something, a problem, they've got a problem to solve. It can be anything. It could be a personal problem. It could be a scenario. It could be about war. It can be anything. But
Or it could be more flippant, I suppose, and light-hearted.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but I prefer stuff that I could
So you can
sort
get your teeth into.
and actually, sort out.
What, like war?
War is too. It's a bit big for me, that one.
Do you think?
I don't want to get into that.
What do you mean? If Tony Blair came to you and he went, Carl, listen, I'm having a bit of trouble here. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I've tried spin. I've tried being tough. I've tried backing down. I've tried getting other countries involved. They don't want to know. What do I do? What do I do? You don't know?
Tricky one. I don't
It's
get,
tricky,
I don't
it is
get
tricky one,
involved. I don't worry about it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get in the bath, put a mattress on top of you. That's
In
it.
the-
Sorry, why are you
Get in
doing
the
that?
bath,
Slow
put a
down.
mattress
Why are you
on
doing
top
that?
of you?
That's what they say you do, innit? If it kicks off.
Get in the
What kicks
bath?
off?
If there's a war and that, you get in the bath, put a mattress on top.
Right. Did
No
they do that
way.
in the Second World War for 6 years?
Was that making bunk
That's
beds?
just what I read somewhere.
Yeah.
Is the bath full of water?
No. Not be daft.
I think they were enamel baths then, though. I think
Okay,
they'd stop a
okay,
bit of
that's
shrapnel. I think the plastic ones you get nowadays would probably melt on you. And the mattress, where your dad has cut it in half, all the foam would come out and the springs would get you in the eye.
Oh, talking about my dad. Steve, you'll love this, right?
Go on.
My dad hates being ripped off, right?
Yes. Well, no, I can relate to that. That's important.
Hates coming to London now. He always wants me to go and see them rather than come here because he just thinks London is like a big rip-off. Last time he came, he got annoyed because I bought him a scone and a cup of tea for like 3 of us, and it was £14, and he just was livid. And then we had an argument about that, and then we went to the Millennium Wheel, and I said, "Do you fancy going on this?" He said, "Oh, all right." And then he saw the price, and it was something like 20 quid or something, and he said 20 quid to go up in the air to look at stuff that's on the ground. He said, "I might as well stay on the ground."
Brilliant.
Right? Thought, good point.
His logic is impeccable.
So anyway, this is going on. Anyway, he spoke to me the other day. I said, "How are things? Are they all right?" And that. He said, "Oh, being ripped off." I said, "Why?" He said he ordered. Do you know the place where he got a new bed from because he cut the other one
Of
in
course,
half?
yeah.
Right. He got this bed out of a catalogue. So he sorted out a payment on the phone. He said, "Look, you're ripping me off a bit here on the interest thing, but well, let's do a deal. We'll sort out a new monthly payment that's different to what it says in the catalogue." And they said, "Yeah, we'll go along with that." Anyway, so he sorted that out. He was happy. The bed arrived. It's a nice bed. He said, "That's great." So anyway, he got the bill for it, and it was the original price.
Oh, I thought it might be the case, yeah.
Right? So he called up and said, "I'm not happy with this." He said, we said a deal, and like, "Oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about." He said, "Right, don't send me your catalogues anymore." He said, I'm not buying anything from you. You're a rip-off merchant." Right? So anyway, few weeks go by. Post comes, only another catalogue in the post.
He's livid.
Right, so he was well annoyed.
Yeah.
So he looked on the back, and it said on it, "This catalogue will always be property of, the company that does it. So you can't throw it away. If if we request to have it back, we've got the permission to get it back off you, right? So he thought, right, well, they're out of order. I told them not to send me one, and they have done, and they're saying I can't chuck it away. So he called them up and said, all right, Mr. Pilkington here, bought a bed off you, you conned me, and that. But, you know, forget that. We've dealt with that. You've sent me a catalogue, I told you not to. It says on the back here that this will always be yours. Yeah? So, in a way, you're using my house as a warehouse. I'll be charging you 26 pence or something a day.
Brilliant.
He said, you already owe me £6.28. Something like that.
Genius.
And, yeah, sorted it out. So again, you know, it just
So hang on, but are they going along with this?
I don't know what happened. He said they sounded annoyed and said they'd get back to him, and they haven't. But he said, I'm not bothered. They can take as long as they want because the money just keeps going up.
Yeah.
So-
What sort of profit has he made so far?
Well, when I spoke to him in the week, it was like £6 odd.
Yeah.
I think that was on Tuesday. So he's you know, he's just leaving it.
He's
It's like
laughing.
an investment.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like an antique he's
it's
bought.
just,
Yeah.
it's just going up every day. So,
Well, keep us posted on that. That's
Yeah,
dynamite.
it's
One day we need to speak to your father.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
many questions
I think
need to
we
be
do.
asked of him.
In fact, I might set and give you a letter to take home.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Pilkington, your son Karl.
New single from Nick Cave. I think you'll
I'm
enjoy
looking forward to it.
Yeah. That's the forthcoming single from Nick Cave from his album Nocturama. That's called Bring It On.
That's great. I must admit, I was a latecomer to Nick Cave.
He's
I was
extraordinary, yeah.
I mean, years into his solo stuff before, you know, I decided that he was brilliant.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
No, he's fantastic. I had some exciting news this week, Karl. You'll be pleased to find out. I'm worried that you might get a little bit jealous because it's obviously going to impact on your world quite strongly. Because I know you think you'd like things to be quite samey. You like the status quo to be maintained. You like the fact that in the past, you know, we've had some crosswords. You know, because I remember. What did you think of me when I first walked in? When I first came in on the first day of XFM?
I don't know why you're making a big deal.
Do you want to
out
bring
of
it?
it,
Do you want to
I'm just being honest though. I'm just being honest about a lot of people who see you for the first time sort of go, well, he's a bit weird.
I love that, Steve, that you brought it up.
Yeah,
and then you're,
why?
again.
But I'm sure that wasn't what he said before.
No,
did
he
say
did.
before?
Yeah, well,
he's a bit weird.
Yeah, well, he looked at you, and I knew, I could see by the look on his face. You know when you know your kid, and your kid's sort of scared of something, and they go, why's your kid? And goes, oh, he doesn't like pigeons or spiders.
Right.
It was like that. When I saw Karl, and I brought you in, and I went, what do you think of that, Karl? I could see the look on his face that he was disturbed.
Sure.
And then, as he said, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah, you get used to it. And you have changed a little bit. Your hair's a bit smarter now, and you've got some nicer glasses and that, I think. Or I might have just got used to it.
Yeah, that's
Whoa! Don't bring it up, Steve. Don't
Well-
look at me like that.
So you say that you think some other people in the office thought the same? Do you know that for sure?
Karl.
Did you discuss it?
Karl.
Yeah, I think they do, yeah.
Okay, leave it there then.
But not just in the office, as you walk through the building.
It's worse than you ever thought.
Well, no, it's not worse than I ever thought, because as you well know, Ricky Gervais,
Yeah.
what did I do on Thursday morning?
Oh, is this the thing,
For those that perhaps are not of the female persuasion listening, there's a magazine. Apparently it sells quite well. It's one of the sort of female, you know, kind of issues magazines. I think it's called Company Magazine. You know, it's like your sort of, I guess it's a bit like your Moore or your Vanity Fair or
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, they run every year the 50 most eligible bachelors in Great Britain section. Ding dong, hello. Who's in there this year? In the 50, in the top 50 of the entire country.
What
and then
number?
they vote, and they put them in order and see who's the most eligible bachelor.
But that's 50 people, right? It always annoys me slightly because bachelor, it kind of seems like a more sophisticated word for loser, doesn't it?
no.
Which always sort of unnerves me
And also
slightly.
they try and do a different 50 every year, so they're
But-
getting pretty desperate to get different ones.
No,
you know,
no,
it's
no,
not
no,
really,
no, no,
because
no.
also a lot of people who are sort of like successful, are married, so there's very little to.
No,
Go on, then.
there's a huge. I don't know if this is international. It could even be international. I'm
Sure.
not sure actually. So I
Sure.
could be up there with the likes of Justin Timberlake,
Sure.
etc. So Fred Durst.
Yeah.
That sort of person, you know. So anyway, this is what's exciting, right? Although I'm slightly frustrated because they were telling me that last year, all right, because what happens is the readers of the magazine, they vote for who they think is number one most eligible bachelor, right? Last year, the prize was a 2-week trip in the Bahamas. Okay, this year. I'm rather annoyed because all I'm going to win is a moped. That's the prize this year. That's the prize this year. A moped.
Whoa, backtrack.
What?
Sorry? Last year was a 2-week trip to Bahamas, and this year
Just
what?
a moped. All I'm going to get is a
All
moped.
you're going to win is a moped.
Yeah, I'm
You've got no chance. You've got no chance. Who else in it? Who else in it?
Well, I mean, I don't know, lots of them are people you'd never heard of. There was, I know Duncan from Blue. Was in this.
So you're second to him at least already. I imagine you're gonna come behind the other 49. So,
because there'll be people voting for me. They get to vote for me.
Yeah, Steve.
They'll see my photo and then they can vote for me.
Yeah, according to Heat, I was 22nd most sexy man in the world.
I better take that helmet back.
I would. AC/DC.
Brilliant.
You shook me all night long on XFM 104.9. Well, this show is a rockin'.
It is. It is.
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karlpilkington. I came up with a new strand for Karl as well. He's always got. You know, we've done. I don't think there's a week gone where we haven't mentioned an airy kid.
A hairy child.
Yeah.
That's true.
And some related to a monkey and that. And I thought you could do a regular thing where he's got to come up with a story about an ape or a monkey. And it's called Chimpanzee That.
Chimpanzee That and monkey.
I have got one, but I can't remember it at the moment, so I'll just...
It'll come to you when you go on the show. Well, listen, while you're thinking about that, while you're stewing on that, here's a problem that someone's emailed in. We're taking emails today. If you've got a problem, a concern, or, you know, just a general query that you think Karl could answer for you. It could be about anything. It could be about some of the big kind of philosophical questions.
Yeah.
It could be you know, something to do with war or famine, anything like that. Or it could just be a personal dilemma, you know, something that's happening locally. Anyway, this seems one that I think you probably have... You and your father have probably come across this sort of dilemma in the past. And I'd be interested to know what your take is on it. Let me see, this is from Lee Matthews by the look of it. He says, he lives in a suburban area where the local teenagers also live on the same road, and they're running riot. They're smashing wing mirrors off the cars, they're crashing into parked cars on their skateboards, and they're just generally making mayhem, you know, night and day. What can he do to stop this going on? The parents of the kids don't seem to give a damn. Anyone who complains to them, they just say, oh, piss off. You know, the police are useless because they never catch them in the actual act of violence, which is what they got to do to apparently convict them. So they don't know who to turn to, really. It's rather like when a little old lady went and got the A-team, you know.
It's a great, you know, and he was dressed as an elderly Chinaman.
Exactly.
She knew who he was. Colonel Decker didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
You see, it's weird, because now it has got out of hand. Do you know what I mean? Like, years ago when I was growing up on the estate, yeah, you had problems, but not like you have now. Do you know what I mean? You know,
Summers were nice as well, weren't they?
Well, it did seem that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right, and...
Police are getting shorter and younger.
But you yourself kind of admitted in the past that you were something of a tearaway. You didn't do anything like these kids
I mean,
here,
the thing is, I was scared that if I got caught doing it, my dad would go mad.
Yes.
And I remember smashing a car window by accident and legging it in the lounge and sort of pretending to go asleep on the settee. Right? And he heard a knock at the door.
Chloroformed himself, just to be unconscious when his dad came home.
And there was a knock on the door, and I thought, oh god, this is the fella who saw me. I was chucking a stone in the air, seeing how high I could throw it.
Of course you were. Did it keep landing on your head? That would explain a lot.
And it came down.
Chucking a stone in the air, love it!
To see how far I could throw it.
Brilliant.
So, you know, I wasn't bothering anyone.
Did you invent that game?
Right,
Did you get the stone for your birthday? Go and play with your stone.
He gave one to Suzanne.
Karl, go and play with your stone.
No, the thing is, right, and it came down at a funny angle, and
Of course it did.
It ate the back of this car, and the back window is the most expensive because it has that heating thing in it.
Yeah.
In case you got a frosty window.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh god. So I legged it in, got on the settee, went to sleep, knocked at the door.
Genius. It's a brilliant plan. It's a brilliant plan. I couldn't be guilty. I'm asleep.
So
I love the idea.
So the thing is, our lounge used to sort of you could see in from the door, right? So this family who saw me do it saw me asleep on the settee, and my mum said, "Go and get the door," and I sort of went, "What?" as if I'd been asleep.
Yeah.
I went to the door, like rubbing my eyes, and the fella said, "What did you run off for? I saw you." I was like, "Oh no!" And I didn't see my dad. I went out. It was when he was working sort of evenings, so I went out so I didn't have to see my dad. And then the next day I came home from school, and my dad said, 45 quid.
Ooh.
That's all he said
That's all
when
he
he
said.
looked at me.
And then you fell asleep, and he went, wake up, wake up. You know what I said? No, 45 quid.
Now the thing
Karl.
is, he didn't have to do anything.
£45, Karl. Now I know you were saving up for a brick, but you can't have it.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's like, I knew I did wrong. I and I was scared that my dad was going to belt me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll be more careful next time.
But that was clearly good parenting on the part of your father, because these young tykes, clearly they don't have the,
what do you do?
the father support.
I don't know
if you were living in that street, very quickly, what would you do? What would your approach be? If you were living in his street?
What if they'd come over and they just vandalised all your pebbles, right, that you've been saving over the years, and just threw your gravel away? What would you do if they just...
I'd probably clout one of them.
So you'd use violence?
I think it's the only way sometimes.
Sometimes the only way.
And I don't mean, really bad, but I'd show them that I'm not putting up with this.
Right.
And then the problem is you've got their family coming round and they're probably quite...
Go to sleep. If you hit a kid and the dad comes down, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just...
equally, if you're doing a bigger crime, a bank job or a murder...
Remember to take the stocking off your head, because if they wake you up and go, why have you got a stocking on your head? Just go, oh, I had a weird dream. It won't work.
It's like with our kid, right? He was... I told Ricky about this the other day in the pub, but it's...
Is this your brother?
He never,
because he was a terror, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but
he did drive a tank down the high street once, didn't he?
Yeah, that's when he was in the army. But
another story.
But this time, I remember my mum and dad were going out right for the evening, and I must have been about 5, so our mark was like probably 18, something like that, 16, 17, 18. So my mum and dad go out, and our mark says to me, right, here's a deal, do your little deal. I'm going to have a load of women round. Right? Deal is, I'll let you have your tractor in the house.
Wow, he had a tank, you had a tractor.
but his brother didn't have the rocks that Karl had.
No.
So he needed the tractor to put his toys along.
What kind of a man was he? He brought a bunch of women round?
So, yeah, there was loads of... But do you know when you're a kid, you don't think, oh, I know what they're up to. You're not bothered, are you? Do you know what I mean?
No.
As long as I've got my tractor, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I was...
But he hasn't changed a bit.
But how many women did he have around? Was it just him and, like, a bunch of women?
Yeah.
Was it like, what's his name? Yeah. What's his name? Like Nedwell from Confessions?
Yeah.
Confessions of an older brother.
They all just came round and had a big
He liked
orgy.
his women. Seriously, right, my mum and dad had to move because they got sick of women coming round saying, I've got a kid and it's your marks. They had to move because they got that.
Did you hear, when you were playing with your tractor and there was women running back and forth in underwear, did you ever hear this noise? Did you ever hear that?
Or kind of wow, 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 wow.
Wow, 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 wow. And just see your brother's arse disappearing down the thing being chased by a butcher. Did you ever...
It's not important, is it?
Is that what it's going to be like, do you think, when I'm voted #1 most eligible bachelor in Great Britain?
Yeah, and you come in on your moped.
I mean, no, am I going to get a tractor?
Cheering brakes, painkiller. Open brackets, summer rain, close brackets. On XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, karlpilkington.
Rockbusters?
Is it that time?
It is indeed. Last week, of course, it was a disaster.
Yeah, every Saturday at 16 minutes to 2, we do Rockbusters.
You might top it this week. Let's see.
I have to say that I've not really gone through them, but the prizes look exactly the same as they were last week.
Yeah.
There's that T-shirt.
So it's a rollover, but you haven't added to it.
Have you not?
The point of a rollover is you've got to add to it. That's the excitement.
Yeah, there's a couple of albums that.
Okay, well, there's also the Fools and Horses video with the free.
I don't think I'm bloody jealous of that. I like that little yellow thing.
It's a little. There's a little kind of model three-wheeled van.
Rodney, you plonker.
Oh, dear.
What's that?
This is what looks to be some kind of best of the stereo MCs.
Don't call me a plonker, you wanker.
The David Attenborough DVD collection.
Oh, Unc shit himself again.
Oh yeah, the big prize that we tried to give away. Best chill out album. Who is that supposed to be an impression of? Which member of the cast is that? Is that Cheeky Dell?
I don't know.
Best chill out album ever, the best air guitar volume 2, and of course for all our fans, Doctor Who, The Aztecs. That's on DVD, and that's one of the William Hartnell Doctor Who. Alright, that's the worst impression I've ever heard. That's brilliant.
Right, Rockbusters then.
Right, three cryptic stuff. Oh, come on.
Karl got annoyed.
Yeah,
three.
and Bill,
I can't do it. Right, three cryptic clues.
Some of which may be wrong.
Yeah, and don't take the letters literally.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
And some initials, and it makes up a band. So here we go then. There's three of them. You email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Yep.
Right, here we go then.
Sure.
Number one. The weather stinks, doesn't it?
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's R.
That's R.
Right.
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Second one. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out.
Alright, give us that again.
Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out.
Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out. What's the initial?
R again.
R again, interesting.
Again, R.
And then the third one, if you're going to do that with your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
CK.
Alright,
Once more?
So quickly, all the way through then. Number one, the weather stinks, doesn't it?
I can't
That's
think
R.
of it.
Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out, will you? That's R as well. And then the last one, if you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Right, we'll have a bit of vinyl.
Let's have a classic from the Merchant Collection.
Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington, alright, Karl?
Alright.
What's the matter? Huh?
Just, you know what's the matter.
What?
What happened?
Should I explain?
If you want.
I'm sort of an
Something-
independent adjudicator, and I couldn't help but notice that you both went out to make the teas, but only one of you came back with a wig made out of that poppy stuff that you pack.
Bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap, yeah. That you
And he didn't want me to do it with sellotape, so I kindly did it with elastic bands that I found. Apparently it hurt his ear, it's cut into his head.
Oh, no.
And look at him, he's annoyed. I don't know.
There's not many times I've ever done, any form of work really, where halfway through it, let's say a 2-hour live radio show, one of the people has said to the other, "Can I make out of this big cardboard box a bishop's hat for you?"
Well, I did that, and
And start fashioning that.
And
when he
yeah,
should be
but and the
concentrating on the
sellotape
show.
hurt his eyebrows. So when we went to the kitchen, I kindly did it with elastic bands, and that was cutting into his ear or something. I don't know, making excuses.
Actual abuse.
Oh.
God.
Carl, you are here for Ricky Gervais's amusement. I think if you check the small print of your contract.
Have you got anything interesting about a monkey or an ape, so we can do chimpanzee that?
Yeah.
I know something that a lot of other people will know, but I'll
Well, let's do it then.
What's it called again?
Where should we do a jingle?
Well, do a little jingle for us then.
Oh, chimpanzee that!
Monkey
Brilliant.
news.
That's great. So I look forward to that every week.
Yeah.
And what's
Go on,
your
then, this is
interesting
interesting
chimp
fact.
fact?
Right, it's about this monkey ages ago. Don't know where it happened.
17th century?
I think it was
Ages
a chimp.
ago, doesn't know where it is.
Got caught having a fag. You know it.
What do you mean, do I know it?
You know
Oh,
it.
narrow it down. Loads of chimps are caught with woodbines.
Right,
Having a fag.
so it was sent to court,
Oh my God.
and
Was it underage?
it was
And it got someone to go into the newsagent for him.
Did he get a bigger gorilla
Yeah,
to
got
go
a
into the
bigger
newsstand
gorilla.
and get 20 Rothmans?
it ended up doing time
No.
because it was
Go
smoking
back a minute.
something.
Wait a minute.
What I mean-
Whoa.
No,
What's
I
that?
don't know that's as much as I know, so there's no point questioning.
That is as much as you know, isn't it? Quite literally.
Sorry, but why did he go to prison?
It's against the law to have a monkey having a fag. Where
In a built-up area. What are you talking about? It's against the law for a monkey to have a fag. What if it got it himself? Even if it just... What about if it earned it himself, just like moving tyres round or
don't-
mucking out
honestly.
the zebras?
I don't know the full story. That's
You don't know the full story, do you?
He never
But do
does.
you think?
You never do, do
I presume
you?
it was a monkey from a zoo, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be fed up, though? Because in a way, it's home from home, isn't it? When I read it, I didn't think it was that bad because I just
Carl,
thought, well,
they don't put monkeys in prison.
They didn't put the monkey in a prison.
They're overcrowded. They haven't got the space.
Well, I'll find it and give you.
Yeah,
the
you know
back
what? I'm
where I got
gonna
it from.
reserve
Yeah.
judgment
Chopper
on
Harris
this
was
one.
furious because the
Because I
monkey
don't
got the top bunk.
Yeah.
Can I just?
And he did. Okay then. Oh, chimpanzee that. Another one next week.
I don't think so. Blockbusters, right? Can I just recap?
Yeah, because actually I have to say you've really stumped people this week.
Yeah.
Well, either that or they
God,
just can't
they're
be bothered
wrong.
anima
Well, oh, they're wrong again.
No,
Yeah,
right.
it's more like-
I think the prizes are so pitiful they can't be asked.
Let me just explain it again, just in case they don't understand it. It's a cryptic clue, right? and it makes up a band, and the initial that I
Sometimes.
give you is the initial that the band or the artist starts off with. So last week, I can't remember, but we did AK, an exploding pet, atomic kitten. That explains it. So very quickly, number one.
No, last week
Right.
we did FP. That you gave out the clue. FD. Free to pain.
Yeah, it was an error. So the
They're
first
all right
one,
this week, though, are they?
yeah, the weather stinks, doesn't it? That's the cryptic clue, and the letter is R. Number 2.
That's the rainy smell, boys.
Right. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out, will you? That's R as well. And the last one, if you're
That's rigging nanny.
if you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. That's CK.
Right.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Plus, keep your problems and queries coming in for Karl. We've got another one as well, which I'd like to give you after the next track, Karl, if I may. All right?
All right.
You've got a problem, haven't you?
What with? Oh yeah.
Listen to this, Karl.
Let's play a record, let's come back with this.
It's an amazing problem.
It's a god-awful small affair.
Wow. You're getting celebrities asking you questions now, Karl. That's David Bowie. Is there life on Mars? Do you reckon?
I reckon there's more going on than just us messing about. I reckon.
I hope so.
I think.
Tell Steve your problem that you aired to me.
Well, do you know, like I'm always thinking about stuff when I'm washing up.
I'm just going to look at Steve for the reaction when this question comes out. Okay.
There's been a few things I've been thinking about. Do you know, like how I try to confuse a computer by putting in Y in the search engine?
Yeah.
So, along the lines of that, I was thinking in the week, if you put a chameleon on a mirror, what would happen?
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
And also, this is a bit of a bigger issue. We're always making more and more stuff, right? In the world, you know, big buildings, big planes, big boats, and that. Will we ever get to a point where all this is too heavy for the world to handle?
Right, what error has he made there,
Heavy.
Steve? What physical, scientific error has he made there with that question?
I can't begin to explain it.
Karl, we're not getting the rocks from other planets. It's already here. It's like having a big pile of books in a room and then moving them over to the other side of the room and building a thing going, oh, can the room take it? I'm building a lot of things out of these books.
What about plastic? Where's that come from?
Other chemicals that existed on the planet.
Yeah.
Do you see the point?
Hang on a minute, though. What about a little tree? You plant that as an acorn, it grows, Rick. That's bigger, that's more stuff.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him, Karl. He's patronising
What
you.
about acorns and that, though?
Right, they grow from minerals and proteins already in our atmosphere or in our, the mass of Earth.
What about a cat, Karl? Right, you get it, it's a very tiny kitten, but it grows out and it's bigger.
Karl, he's doing it on purpose.
Elephants. Baby
Elephants, they're very small to begin with, but they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and so they get heavier and heavier.
Mind you, dinosaurs have gone.
You know, but you know famously that's how Atlantis disappeared. You know, you've heard of the legend of Atlantis. Have you heard of the legend of Atlantis?
I think so.
This was a city that existed. It's proven,
Yeah.
right? And what happened was they just kept buying stuff in mail order. They just kept ordering stuff, like the king and stuff. Just kept ordering stuff in mail order. He brought girls across,
Carpets, lot of carpets.
Carpets. He kept buying TV set, big screen TVs and stuff like that. And eventually,
He bought up all the myrrh that the wise men didn't want.
yeah, he just because he's from like olden times, and he just kept buying stuff, crazy. Like he was just a shopaholic basically.
Mental it was.
And he was ludicrous. It was like, and in the
it was
end,
too
it just
heavy.
sunk. It just sunk,
Too heavy.
and it just sunk.
So, to the Earth, the more planes we build, the more trees we let grow.
Yeah.
From acorns.
And more than that, what about all the people who are overeating?
There's only there's only
You
one
know,
thing
your Rick
to
Wallers
do.
in this world.
I think we've got to kill off endangered species and burn trees. That's the only way the Earth can survive. You mental. Right, what are you doing?
Right.
Okay, look, quick query for you. This is from Jay. He's got a problem here. He says, my parents won't let me ditch my studies. He's currently reading modern languages at London University.
Sure.
He wants to follow his dream, but his parents won't let him, of being a dancer. Karl. Worse than that, he says that they're trying to arrange a marriage to a bunch of minging daughters of people they know from good families. He doesn't know what to do, so he's got the arranged marriage coming along, and he's also got, he basically wants to be a dancer. His parents are forcing him into something more
Well,
practical.
the first thing, right? I don't think
Live your dreams?
the arranged marriage thing is such a bad idea.
Okay.
because I think too many people go on looks,
Right.
and then you soon get bored of that, and you find out the person who you're knocking about with is actually not your type.
Right.
Why don't you arrange marriages for people?
Well, I'm just saying, right, so I'd say, Jay, go along with that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, if they're really ugly, then, you know, don't go along with it, but if they're half bad,
Yeah.
put up with it. That's
Sure.
all right. The dancing,
Brilliant.
right,
That's that solved.
Brilliant.
I wanted to be a dancer. After I did the boxing, right, I joined a dancing thing just near Man United's ground, right, called Twiggies.
I remember Twiggies.
Went along, I wanted to learn some moves. And
How
like-
old were you?
Well, it was when Michael
You
Jackson was
mentioned this.
like pretty big, so about
5.
83, 84, 85,
Alright.
something like that, around there. Wanted to do it. When I went, it was shut, and it had become like a warehouse for toilet rolls. So in a way, I wonder what would have happened.
Sorry. How is that an anecdote about you going through dancing? You've told me before you did boxing for a while and you did dancing for a while. You had a true fight in the boxing. You didn't even get in the. That's not an. Imagine if that was a film. This is about a boy's dreams of becoming a dancer. Oh, it's shut. Next on. I mean, how is that a story?
Yeah, that was Billy Elliot. Do you think it won quite as many awards?
Yeah, brilliant. Footloose. All right,
Yeah.
I'm fed up. They banned it. Let's go. Eyes shut. Do. Flash dance. First, there was. It's a warehouse. Never mind. You.
I'm just saying, you know, you'll find something else. I think I got a go-kart after that. I bought a motorised go-kart and kept myself busy with that. So. There's always all those
Just
things.
think, Alan Bennett has to sit down and really sweat over his stories.
Yeah.
He just opens his mouth.
You are a living Alan Bennett character.
So that's
Oh.
that.
So that's solved. Well, Jay, don't worry about that. There's no emotional problems I can foresee. If you follow that advice.
So the advice
Side
there is do an arranged marriage.
if she's not
If she's not
ugly.
minging, if she's not completely minging, and don't worry about dancing, get a go-kart. Cheers.
Great. Keep your problems coming in.
Gosh.
Truth Rest Your Head by Gene on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. While I was with Karl in that restaurant, while I was giving him the problems, the old fella with Viagra and the two fellas making love in the cubicle, we came up with a new idea, because he's dumping, do we need him? As I say, 'cause he thinks the scientists have got together, they're never going to wipe out a limpet or a slug.
Of course.
They think they're good, but they're not that good. This is people that are lauded as great minds, and Karl has brought them down.
He's taken issue with them.
Like what? He went, right, great thinkers, and I went, okay, then, Sir Isaac Newton, the father of modern physics. He went, is he the fellow with the apple? I went, yeah. He went, there again, see? Why do I need to know that the Earth sucks us towards it, gravity? He said, if I was floating around, it would be a problem, I'd ask his opinion. I went, what about Einstein? He went, again, I've never needed, and this is what he said, I've never needed MC squared in my life. The fella who invented the video, I watch one a day.
You know what I mean, though? Give credit where credit's due.
Right.
And I think that a lot of this stuff that was invented, like when we were talking about inventions, you know, I started to look in books and that, finding stuff out. And there was some fella who got a mention on an invention site just because he came up with the fishbowl. And it's like, is it that hard?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's clearly a bowl.
Sorry, you're not putting him in the same category as Newton and Einstein, are you?
He was on the same list. Einstein was on there. It was saying about him doing that. And Newton with the apple. And who else was in there? Da Vinci, whatever. He was
Leonardo
on
da
there.
Vinci.
Yeah. Is he the one
So-
who did
so-
Mona Lisa as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said it took him 12 years to paint the lips. I don't think that's that good. Like, it takes that long. I saw, you know, when you think, saw Tony Hart do like an Aborigine man with a elephant in the background took about 3 minutes.
Aborigine. An Aborigine?
Yeah.
Really? An elephant?
So what about some of the big names?
Well,
Just
go on then,
what's
go
your
on.
what's your first reaction when I say some big names from history?
Go on.
Gandhi.
again, what did he do?
Good point.
Right.
Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
But yeah, all right. Do you understand what he represents?
Well, go on, tell me, and then I'll tell you if he deserves to
But
be
you know,
mentioned.
his whole kind of attitude towards peaceful protest. You know, it's quite a sort of modern idea. You know, very much the forefather of the '60s movement. You know, where people would sort of sit in, and protest. You know,
Steve,
song
Steve,
perhaps
Steve,
over.
Steve.
I don't think that's
Right,
a good
look at the
explanation.
glazed look on his
Did
face.
I lose him on Gandhi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
Pick
it's
someone
not.
else, do someone else.
Pick someone else.
Okay,
Okay.
all
Well, someone you know about that's obviously. Let's think. A great thinker. Isn't part Kingdom Brunel?
Right, yeah, he's alright.
Brilliant. Thanks. What about
Jesus Christ?
Well, I'm thinking more your modern day, like your Richard Bransons and that. Who,
Okay.
like,
I would. To be fair, I wouldn't put Branson up there with Gandhi,
Christ, Newton,
Christ.
but
Einstein,
why?
Stephen Hawking?
because he's mainly known for having a beard and a funny jumper. To be honest,
Yeah,
you have to start including Noel
No,
Edmonds.
that's Noel Edmonds. Yeah, you're getting confused there.
But Branson's a businessman. He's not one of the great sort of scientific
But
minds
I
or
think in
philosophical
time,
thinkers.
right, in time... we
Whereas
would've
Clive
worked out-
Sinclair, in his little car on his way to work, brilliant.
No, but in time, there's certain things, like the apple falling off a tree.
Right.
Whoever was sat there would have gone, that's a bit odd. Do you know what I mean? It's just that
Yeah.
they were there first.
But to be fair, Christ instigated 2,000 years of religion based on his teachings. Richard Branson, to be fair, he did launch Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells.
Yeah,
They're
see
not
the
quite
difference?
comparable.
See, this is it.
It depends what you get impressed by, doesn't it? Suzanne's always saying...
Maybe Newton was there. He was coming up with a brilliant theory, like amazing. He was probably inventing the helicopter, right? The apple hit him in the head, and he went, "The Earth's sucking me. The Earth's sucking me."
There
You know what I mean?
Could have happened. But so, my girlfriend's always saying, what impresses you?
Yeah.
Because she was saying the other day, do you want to go to Egypt? And I said, no, not really.
No.
She goes, well, don't you want to see the pyramids?
Not interested.
It's like, I've seen them on the telly.
Okay.
Are they going to be that much more amazing when you see them
Yeah,
in real
good
life?
point. Good point. Good point.
Did he know?
How did you ever move out of your street in Manchester?
But hang on, no, sorry, I'm interested to know because this is something that that he came up with, and this is someone that loves him and that he respects. So I'm interested to see what was your answer to what impresses you.
I don't think I did answer it. I just said, the odd
You
thing.
just said I'm asleep.
Little things. Little things, like I ran home the other night and said, oh, I've just learnt something today. She goes, go on. And, Lego bricks?
Oh yeah.
The name came about because some kid's mum, the kid was messing with the bricks, and she said, let go of them and come and have your dinner.
Play record.
It's got to be rubbish. It's got to
Play
be
record.
It's
rubbish.
always rubbish. Isn't it?
Well, they're Scandinavian for a start. So,
That is definitely rubbish. Let go of them. No, man.
Boys are back in town. Thin Lizzy, what a classic.
Beautiful.
Carl, should that be our anthem, me, you and Steve, eh? Eh? Yeah?
Can I just get a couple of bits of admin out of the way?
Go on.
We've had an email from Peter Goff. He has said, where is Richard Anderson?
Where
he
is
he only
Dickers?
tunes in to listen to him.
Where's
and it's absolutely
Dickley?
true
Where's
enough.
little Dicky Docker?
Little Dickie Anders has not emailed in. If you don't listen normally, Anders is our biggest fan.
He
Normally he's got
loves
some,
us. I just absolutely
but he's
thinks the
normally
world
got
of...
a little bit of constructive criticism,
Oh,
which
well,
we
I
always
mean, it's
appreciate.
not- yeah, we're open to that. Sure,
Exactly.
sure.
So-
you! I'm gonna shove this up your...
Here we go again.
So if Dickie Anders is listening, then he might want to get in touch. Also, dear Ricky, I've developed a bit of a fetish for the way you say "winnersh" in your hit sitcom The Office. I'm trying to get my fiancé to say it, but he hasn't quite mastered it yet. Anyway, we're getting married in Las Vegas in a couple of weeks' time. Could you please say "winnersh" on air as a sort of early wedding present?
becoming one of the most popular requests at weddings now, me saying "winnersh." So, "winnersh." There's a few I didn't get in. Thatcham, Shinfield. So, there's a Woodley.
There you are.
There you go.
That's beautiful. That's keeping them happy. Good luck to them. That's Leopard. That's one of those stupid email names. If you're going to email us, at least mention your name, because otherwise it makes me sound like a
A
fool.
leopard, the original name for a giraffe.
Interesting. Thanks for that.
Whereas Lego was
Yes.
invented when a mother had sent someone to get some, though there's no name for them. She went, "Can you go and get some?" There was a gap. He went, "Oh yeah, I'll go and get some," because they weren't called anything. Brought them back, started playing with her. And then she went, "Look, give me those He went, no. She went, Lego, you idiot.
Yeah, the actual explanation, various people have emailed us in or phoned in now. The company was set up in 1934. It's a Danish company, obviously.
Yeah.
Lego comes from the Danish words leg got, which means play well, and it was later discovered that it was also a Latin phrase that meant I study or I put together. That's the actual, where did you get that from?
But the thing is, you see, that's where learning's got to be interesting, because if it even started like that, I'd just go, I'm not interested. I'd be looking for
so if a fact might be true, but it's just not good enough.
It's not interesting enough for you.
Not interesting enough.
Okay, another quick dilemma for you,
So
Carl.
if Newton would have said, apples are attracted to our heads, be careful, they attack you, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Total bollocks. But you'd have been interested, therefore, in all modern physics. Alright?
Here's another dilemma for you, a quick one from Kate. She says that she's a single woman, she's 6 foot tall. Recently she's found herself being approached by men of, let's say, restricted height. And she's not desperate, but is it ever acceptable in her, she wants to know now, is it ever acceptable for a taller lady to go out with a person of restricted growth? What do you think about that? If you see that on the street, do you think it looks bizarre, do you think it looks odd, or
so
should
a
she just go with
6 foot
it?
woman with,
Someone of a dwarfish persuasion.
A little fella.
we can't say sort of that or the midget word, but
You
I
can't
mean
say that, no,
that's a little fella.
Little fella.
Is that so? There's a noticeable difference in their height. Is that ever a problem? Do you feel?
She's 6 foot, he's 3'4".
Yeah.
If I saw it, I'd just think she's doing it.
Okay, let's not do this now.
No, come on. She's doing what?
No, for attention in a way. Because there's loads of other
See,
people.
I told you, Steve.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just. I mean, is that serious?
I think so.
Well, I mean, if it whatever makes you happy.
Please don't ask Carl
No,
these
but
sort
do you
of
know what I
questions.
mean? If it makes her happy, then do it. But in a way, you're not going to have a normal life.
Oh, God.
No, but you're not, because they're going to get sick.
I'm
There's no
so
point bringing
sorry.
trouble onto yourself.
Carl does not necessarily reflect the opinions
Of
the
anybody
management.
else in the world.
Hold on. This woman, she doesn't live in a forest in a little cottage, does she? She hasn't got long black hair and wears a sort of...
She says the guy she's going out with is a miner. In
Really?
a crystal mine, yeah. And he just sings all day on his way
Has
to
he
work.
got 6 mates?
Apparently so.
Okay, what do you think of that, Carl?
I'm still sorry, I wasn't listening. I was thinking about.
Someone just called up and called him dopey.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
I mean, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Why? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you today?
I'm just saying.
What you're fed up with people taking issue with some of the stupid things you say? Lego was invented by a mother going, Lego of that. What are we going to do with all the buildings? The earth might collapse. What do you expect people to say? Even our listeners know you're talking rubbish. And some of those aren't allowed to wear socks. I mean...
Listen, right, last week when I did Do We Need 'Em, do you know when I called up one of the museums in a science museum?
Yeah, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I wanted to tell you before when the song was on, but you're so busy listening to it.
Yeah, was I so busy listening to a song I was playing?
Yeah, but we're doing a radio show, aren't
Alright,
we?
what's your point?
Well, I just wanted to say, she emailed in to say I got her name wrong, so I'm just apologising for that.
What did you call her?
I think I called her Jessica.
What's her name?
I don't know, I've got it on email.
Well, this is not an apology!
No, I'm
You've
just
got
saying.
it wrong again!
You've not even said her real name! How is that an apology?
Well, I remember, I read the email, so, yeah, I
But who are you apologising to? Apologising
I think
to?
her name's Jackie, I think.
Oh,
He thinks
you've
he's
got it wrong
guessing,
again,
he's
haven't you?
guessing.
Well, anyway, she just said if you want to see dinosaurs and that, go to the museum.
You were complaining about that as well, weren't you? You went to a museum and there was too many dinosaurs. He said you just need 4.
No, well, Steve, have you been to the one in Knightsbridge?
I think
This
so.
one that I called up, right? It's nice. You go in, you get a good collection of stuff. You walk in, there's 3 or 4 dinosaurs. You've had enough, right? I went into New York, right? Went to the museum there, hundreds of them. You can't move for dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're responsible for them being extinct. There's loads of them. So all I'm saying is, if you want to see a dinosaur, go to the one near Knightsbridge. They've got a nice selection, some old vases and stuff. It's worth going. So.
Do you work for them? Because that was a pretty big sell.
Well, I just thought I'd mention
You
it.
could work that into quite an advert, I imagine. Brilliant. Carl, you're fed up, aren't you? Because you had to get up early.
Well, that's another thing, but will we give out the answers for...
Let's do that after we've played the next tune. I have to say that I'm wondering if Rockbusters, like Do We Need 'Em, is beginning to run its course, because this week we've had very, very few right answers. I think you're just getting too complicated.
Yeah, because his clues and his answers are rubbish. Why don't you start doing proper ones?
These are good. We started off easy, if you
I don't know,
remember.
I think some of them are a bit tortuous.
They
but
don't
anyway,
work. Some of them don't work.
Come up with some stuff then.
let's play a tune.
Well, I have.
And we'll come back with the Rockbusters answers in a second.
You haven't come up with anything.
No more ridiculous, I guess.
1-800-SUICIDE. It's a good tune, that. I've always enjoyed it.
XFM 104.9. Well, that's nearly it from Ricky Gervais. That's me, Steve Merchant.
One of the 50 most eligible bachelors in Britain. I hope people as well, if you buy Company magazine, if there's any ladies listening, every week, of course, I've played you a song for the ladies, and I hope now that you'll be able to return the favour and maybe vote for me. Buy Company magazine, vote for me, so I become 50, the number one most eligible bachelor.
That wouldn't mean anything then, would it?
What do you mean?
Well, it wouldn't mean anything then, would it? If they voted you and you even got into the top 30, it wouldn't mean anything because you've asked them to do it.
What are you talking about? Of course, because it means that they care for me enough, and then they are impressed and charmed by enough that they've actually made that effort. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful gesture.
I think that would ruin it.
Well, let's wait and see what the results are.
Do you think? I mean, just getting off that, because we don't want Steve to use as a platform to get in the top 48. He's bound to beat a couple of people. But what do you think of him now, Carl? Now you've known him for these many years. I mean, what do you think of his looks objectively now that you've known him? Can you remember what you first thought?
Like I say, he's changed a bit. He's sorted himself out a bit.
Yeah.
Looks a bit better.
How was he done?
I don't know. His hair's better.
Yeah, what was it before?
It was just a bit nothingy. Do you know what I mean? It was like just like if you just let your hair grow and do its own thing.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's got a style.
Yeah.
So it looks good.
Glasses, he's changed.
His glasses are stylish.
Yeah.
Just stay sat down.
Right, Rockbusters.
Some people like tall men.
Yeah, go on.
Right, first one. The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was R, which was rainbow. Right?
Rainbow?
Like rain is the weather, and it smells like body odour. Body odour.
B.O.
B.O.
It's B.O. That's B.O.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but you've got to play...
It's not pronounced bow, and it's not spout bow.
Who calls it bow? Everyone knows it's B.O.
What, you don't care? You don't care that doesn't work?
Well, got it, so again, as long as
One person got it,
as long as
Carl.
they're getting it.
One person got it. Of all the emails, one person
Rainbow.
got it. Second one, look, Gran, just get on the boat, will you, and help us out.
Go on.
That was R. That was a Ronan. Right?
Ronan, who's Ronan?
got it. Ronan.
Who's Ronan?
Ronan Keating.
But he's known as Ronan Keating.
No, it's
RK.
not. No, it's not anymore though. He's gone on his own, hasn't he? He's just known as Ronan.
No, he's not.
No, he's
not.
never been known as Ronan.
He's always been known as Ronan Keating.
All right.
So that doesn't work like that. Go on.
The third one.
Next.
If you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a little bit before you open it. That was CK.
Right.
Shake a can. Shake a can. If you're going to shake, you can.
This is the worst competition ever.
So,
It's Chaka.
have you got...
Check.
It's Chaka. It's Chaka.
Chaka Khan.
It's Chaka Khan.
Yeah, okay.
Shake a can.
No, Chaka Khan.
Shake a can.
What you got?
Chuck a can might have worked. To throw a can.
Who got all three right then?
Well,
because basically what happened was people
We're
just
stopping this.
emailed in 3 guesses.
We're stopping
and
this.
the guesses that were right came from Mandy Thompson in Hendon.
Let's ruin
but
that
frankly,
one then. Well, that's run that into the ground. That's Do We Need 'Em ruined.
No, we can't
That's-
just bin everything on 1 week.
I don't think we're going to get that. Oh, they're not as good as they think they are because you've only picked on Newton Einstein. You don't know anyone else. You don't know who Gandhi is. Chimpanzee that. You've run out of
I did like the jingle for that though.
Oh, chimpanzee that.
That was a great jingle.
Yeah,
But sadly
well,
we won't be able to use that again.
So who's won anyway?
Well, it was Mandy Thompson I mentioned, but as I say, she guessed, so I mean, she can have the prizes, she's welcome to them. But,
There you go.
I think we should knock it on the head, Carl. Maybe you should come up with something
Yeah.
new.
No, I think it's still got a few weeks in it.
I think we should take some time off.
Well,
Yeah. What about, like, the foreseeable future?
Don't know.
song
does
for
that
the
sound?
lovers. Do you want to just play
A song
that
for the
one?
ladies. Listen, you know what? I think it's maybe the March issue of Company magazine. Buy that. Top 50 most eligible people. There's probably an address or a phone number to call. And here's another song for the ladies, maybe just to charm you further. Tom the Model by Beth Gibbons and Rustin Man.
Carl, say
And Karen
goodbye
Allen.
and say it nicely, like you're happy.
See you later.
Is that the best you can do?
Oh my god. You know what? I'm with Ricky on this one. I mean, that was torture. What was the first one? Was it rainbow? Rainbow. Bow. B-O. Bow. Rain. What the hell? Who is gonna think like that? That's impossible. You know? I mean, hey, Danito. I think maybe, like, I don't even know what to think of that. It's like, at some point, you know, they are funny. What he says is funny. At some point, it's just like, Hey, Danny, come here. Don't destroy everything, please, Danito. Be very gentle. Now, so okay, that's done with Rockbusters. I mean, there's nothing else to do with that, is there? Okay. What was the other one? Now, do we need him? I mentioned in the last time. It's like you will never find. So it's like it's not gonna work. And finally, he got it. It's like there's no scientist that you're gonna find who's gonna agree with you. Danny, come here. Come here, Danny. Come here. Good boy. Oh my gosh. You know, there's no scientist that he's gonna find that's gonna agree with him that is like, yeah, we can get rid of those ones. You know, so yeah, that's in the trash can as well. I mean, I am excited that was it Monkey News finally. So they have officially started. You know, it's not called Monkey News yet, but it is Monkey News. So that's something. Now, the thing that Steve, I felt Steve was a little bit. What's the word for this? He was a little bit. I don't know. He was defensive. You know, he was defensive a little bit in this one. He got defensive. You know, some people like tall men. Well, yeah, of course, people like tall men. He's doing his thing. Karl is doing his thing. You don't have to get like offended by it. And the same thing with the list. I think he was expecting them to go like, wow, you're on that list. Well, yeah, but that list, man, I work in magazines. That list is usually compiled by the guy who owns the magazine. There's not much to it, you know. It's like we've done these lists when I was working in the magazine. We've done like the top, 30 women in business. The top, yeah. How do you think they pick them? You know, the ones that the publisher knows. They get in the magazine. That's it, pretty much. If not, you pay, and then they put you on the list. So it doesn't take, it's not exactly impossible to get on one of those lists, especially back in those days, like 20 years ago, when these magazines were all over the place. But my God, there were other features. I'm not seeing Ridiculous. That disappeared because that depends on Ricky, and Ricky's just not gonna bother, is he? With Karl, I think the Lego thing is a little too stupid for me to like. That's unforgivably stupid, you know. It's like, come on, you can't believe everything, man. You can't believe every story in the world. Just because you find it entertaining. This is how he goes. He's like, well, the story is entertaining, so it's probably true. No, it's not how life works. I don't know. I don't know what his like beef is with an uninteresting fact. I don't know. It's like, fine. So some facts are not gonna, they're not gonna make you like fall in love with them, but still, they are true. They are facts. Yeah. Well, let's see what happens with the next one. I'm guessing it's gonna be more Monkey News, and Maybe other features. We'll see. We'll see what happens. For now, bye.